Precisely. Two best buds. Precisely. Drinking beer and talking about stuff. Precisely. Bo and Tony. Precisely. Playing and reviewing games. Precisely.
How's it going, everyone? This is Precisely Podcast, a podcast about enjoying beers and talking about video games. I'm your host, Bo, and with me, as always, Tony.
That's Big Tony to you, sir.
All right.
And we have Kelly with us again.
What's up?
Always lovely.
Always. People
you.
have been requesting you, Kelly. They're like, since Kelly moved closer to you now, Bo, is she going to be on more frequently? And I said, yes. Yes, she is.
Well, thank you, people who have been requesting me. I have been requesting people.
Oh, yeah? Like listeners or what?
I guess. I don't know.
Right. So, yeah, let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about. Great topic to talk about, which will be weird controllers that we've used, that we've looked up, ones that we never want to touch. But let's talk about beer first. We're drinking on Southern Tier Lake Shore Fog. It's a hazy and juicy IPA.
And I think that describes it perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically your standard New England IPA. It does have like a juicy flavor.
It's very juicy up front. It's very fruity, guava-y, pineapple-y.
Little sweet,
Yeah.
malty maybe.
Let me
That's
see.
just my kind of IPA.
A little malty. Definitely more fruity, and I like it. It's a great summer beer. The only thing I don't like about Southern Tier that I was just mentioning to you guys before we started recording is they have no colorful cans, really. It's just a very bland logo.
Yeah, it's almost like industrial kind of.
Yeah, I agree.
If I had to put a term on it.
Yeah, like a one-word term, industrial, yeah.
They're selling you on the beer, not on the label.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't read the book by its cover.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't judge the book by its cover.
Also, don't read
Yeah.
just the cover.
Yeah, just don't read the cover.
Just don't do it.
Just don't even look at the book.
Just
Get
put
out
a
of the
book
bookstore.
back. Get out of the library
Yeah.
Get yourself an audiobook.
and go sit down. Listen.
Actually, play some video games instead. There's enough reading in that. Unless you're playing like Pokemon Snap, and then I don't know. Something's wrong with you. All right. So before our topic, let's talk about the games we played this week, because I played a bunch. Do you want to start, Kelly?
Yeah, I'll start. My room's still getting set up, so my setup is like limited to what I was playing. I actually just was playing Katamari on my Switch before I came over.
Have you beat it?
No, I'm making the moon right now.
Nice. Is that the last thing?
I can't remember, but I
can't
feel like it
remember
is because you get like 25 minutes to make like a 300-kilometer ball.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big.
I mean, my favorite level in Katamari Damacy was literally rolling up. Like, you start big, but you start rolling up the city, and then you're rolling up continents, and then, like, you roll up the world itself, being bigger than it, and then you start rolling up all the stars and constellations and other planets that you've made, and it's just, like, such an epic, epic feeling.
Yeah. I like that. But
Yeah.
that's like my, like, if I have a little bit of time, go-to game to just, like,
Yeah.
chill out. But I also just got Mario Maker 2, and I haven't played it yet.
Oh, no.
I just got it, so I have
I'm
to play it.
about 90% complete in it. I
Nice.
gave it a short break after a while. Like, I played it for like 3 hours one night, and Kayla was like, "Can we please watch a TV show?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then, like, I went into handheld mode to play it, and she was like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like, I'll put it away, I guess." And then, honestly, I think I went and got my Game Boy to play Pokemon Red. I was like, "Oh, well,
Oh, well.
all right."
Yeah, I haven't played any of that yet, and
It's super fun.
it looks fun. So I'm anxious to start. But the one thing I actually have put time into in the past week is I recently picked up, I guess, Fallout 76. I did have it when the game first came out, and it was like super glitchy and like
Yeah.
all that stuff was wrong with it, and I mean,
There just wasn't much to do, right?
there was stuff to do. Like, there are quests. It's open world. I love exploring. Like, that's, if you love that, then this game's for you for sure from the start. But the problem was you'd be getting dropped out of servers and, like, you'd be freezing up. And there was a lot of things that were, like, wrong with it that way.
And that just shouldn't happen in this, like, day and era.
Right. But they've taken the time to, like, fix it. And I stopped playing probably for a couple months there. And then my friend just brought it back up, like, hey, you know, they came out with all the stuff at E3 about it and everything, I think it was. And he was like, we should give it a try again because they're really, like, revamping it. And so we got on and we just started playing. And this whole week, we get on and play for, like, a couple hours, like 3 or 4 of us. And
that sounds fun.
It's been really fun because there's no pressure, I feel like, to just complete quests with it. Like, my friends that I play with, we just kind of go explore. If we come across something, we check it out. If there's a quest there, we do it. And, like, I don't know, it's just been a lot of fun just walking around and finding stuff and coming across enemies. And yeah,
are there, like, big hordes of enemies ever
where,
not
not
like you, like, need a team?
So the one thing that I found is, since I hadn't touched my game, I'm at, like, a level 20 right now, but, like, a lot of the people in the game have been playing since day 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
They're at, like, level 150. Like,
Is there a cap?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Jeez.
But a lot of the enemies that spawn around me are level 30, level 40, 50, 60,
Okay.
70. And if I don't have a team
Yeah,
and you're taking
dead.
it on by yourself and you ain't, like, you're not running fast enough, you're done.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful, is, like, we'll come across, like, the other day we came across, like, a legendary Deathclaw or something that was, like, level 70 and we were, like, level 20, level 30, and there was, like, 3 of us and we just took turns, like, you know,
Running and shooting.
yeah, and then, like, peeking out of houses and stuff like that to take cover so it can't follow you.
Yeah, so, like, a Deathclaw, really big creature. Have you played Fallout at all, Tony?
No, I haven't played it, but I've seen it being played.
It's a scary creature. It's
It's
this
terrifying.
big, like, alien, like, looking thing that's, like,
They
4
all are
times
terrifying.
bigger than you. But I'm pretty sure, like, it can only really attack one person at a time, right?
I mean,
Unless
each
2 people are standing right
no,
next
yeah,
to each other.
each enemy really only can attack a person at a time. So it doesn't matter if it's a Deathclaw or a Ghoul or a Scorch Beast or whatever. It's only going to attack specific. It's only going to hone an attack on one person at a
Yeah.
time. So if you're getting honed in on, like, take cover, it'll switch off, and it's just kind of like a rotating. And that's
Yeah.
how it works better with the team
That's
when you
cool.
are a lower level than the enemy.
So with the patches that they've done, I'm pretty sure on E3 they announced like a battle royale
They
system.
did, yes.
Have you done any of that?
I have not, because I'm not a battle royale person. I've tried back when Fortnite first came out, gave that a shot. I did PUBG, I did Apex, and none of them are.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of it. I like to be able to, like, play a whole round. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
like getting out and then sitting and watching.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes me mad because, like, if I don't know the game right away, obviously, like, it's a new game, I don't get it that well the first time I play it, and then I get mad, like, 5 times in, and I'm like, I keep losing.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
So I'm not a battle royale
I probably
person.
played Fortnite like 2 matches worth, and I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, that's
Like, I didn't know what
exactly
to do.
what happened.
I still get emails from the company being like, "Oh, this is the new patch that's coming." Blah blah blah. I'm like, don't care. Stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, never played any of the other ones besides Tetris 99.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
I was playing a little bit of that while one of my games were updating, and that was fun. I think I got out like at 36, and then the one was like 52. And I was like, damn, I suck. Or everyone's like really good now.
I've been practicing.
So
It's hard
fun
to
game.
jump back in. You
Yeah.
know, any game, I think, where you're competing online and people play it constantly, that's the only game they
Absolutely.
play.
Even like a simple like basics game as Tetris 99 is so hard when everyone else that's probably playing knows what they're doing better than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I've been playing a bunch of Mario versus Rabbids. I just got back from a friend. Didn't beat it, but I was like, he like just bought a Switch at the time, and I was like, here's a couple games you might like. I let him borrow Kirby and Mario versus Rabbids, and he said he had fun with them, but eventually gave them back to me. So I was like, I need to finish Mario versus Rabbids. started playing that, fell back in love with it. Like, I remember getting frustrated when I first started playing it and like dying at this one area a bunch on this one battle. It's a tactical RPG like game, where you have a team of 3 and you could be up against 6 to 20 different characters, enemies, that you only have a limited amount of spaces to move. You can shoot them, you can attack them, like up close attacks. You can do like power ups if your teammates are close to you. You can like heal them. Bunch of different things. It's a mind thinking game. It's like a giant chessboard essentially, with unlimited different types of moves that you can do. So I got really far into that. Started playing it in handheld mode the other day, and literally Mario was glitching out on me where he was looking like a wall to a block to like an ornament, and like everything just started changing up on me, and I'm like, this is almost unplayable. Like, it was literally glitching. I'm like, this game's been out for over a year. Like, this should have been patched. Like, why is this happening? And I sent it to my buddy the video of it happening, and he is like, yeah, it's because you're playing in handheld mode. Like, try it, on the TV. And I didn't. Yeah, I was just like, I'm going to play something else instead. Just upsetting, but really, like, it's a beautiful game. I recommend it to anyone that likes tactical RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics or Shining Force. Really fun, but with cutesy, humorish graphics. The humor sort of slapstick, but really fun and funny. So I'm about to beat that if I do go back to it, which I plan on it because I want to beat at least 25 games by the end of the year. We'll see.
Good goal.
I think that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at, I think, 13 now or something.
There you go.
So it's like a little over a half a year.
Just find some short games to play.
Well, it's not even that. It's like just beat the ones that I've started.
Yeah.
Like catch up doing that is like my idea behind it. Besides that, I downloaded one of my first like actual like video games onto my cell phone, which is called Sky Children of the Light. I do play Pokemon Go, but to me that's not really a video game. It's just a way of life.
Just gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
It's basically a religion at this point.
Yeah, it really is. It's sort of weird, but I do like it. Which, going back to our last podcast about the whole Rockets coming out, Team Rockets, they're a lot easier than I thought. It's just you have to have the right team to fight them. Some of them are more powerful, some of them are more weaker, but as long as you have a good team, you're good. I had like a lot of my higher up Pokemon were like dead, so they weren't revived, so I couldn't use them in the battles that I was trying, and it was like being my first battle with them, I just got obliterated. Either way, it's fun. You get to get these possessed Pokemon after the battle, and then you can free them of the possession, and they become like stronger Pokemon, but they all have like this one same move that's called Return, which is like sort of a weak move. Either way, fun. So back to Sky Children of the Light. This game was developed by the same makers of Journey and Flower, which, Kelly, have you ever played Journey?
I have not.
Oh my goodness. Tony, you've played Journey.
Yeah.
We've
dope
talked
game.
about it on the podcast.
Super cool.
Super fun. It was like only like a 2-hour long game. Sky Children of the Light seems like a very in-depth game, longer than Journey, but same sort of basis where you're just floating around. You're this little kid floating around on the ground. You get to like slide down hills and this and that, but then you like can fly eventually once you get some power-ups, and like clouds regenerate your flying skill. So it's just like this free flowing game where it just feels so good. And like right in the beginning when you install it and turn it on, there's no music or anything, and it's like, plug in your headphones now. This game, like, you only get half the game.
It says make sure your volume's up or use headphones because the music is 50% of the experience.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. So I got headphones because my volume going up wasn't going up at all. But wow, like, I was just entranced by it. Like it's so similar to Journey in that sense, but Journey we played years after it came out, right?
Yeah.
So in that game, when it first came out, a lot of people were playing it at the same time. So you got to see those people playing it. You couldn't really interact with them, but you could like follow them around. They could see you.
Yeah.
And Children of the Light, Children of the Light, Sky, same basis where you can see other people playing, but there's so many more people, and you have a candle that you can share that candle of light with another player, and then it illuminates them, and you can follow them. There's like certain like candles on a bench that you can sit down and talk to someone and literally like type out whatever to them. I was talking to this one stranger. I was like, man, this game is so cool. He's like, right? Like, I just downloaded it today and it's so much fun. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, that we can interact, like, which isn't like a new thing, but like for like a mobile phone game that looks so beautiful, like it seemed different to me. You know, like I haven't really experienced that before. They play Words with Friends, which you can type to someone with that. Like my wife and I play that together and be like, good move, you know. But like this is like we're experiencing this game for the first time together. Let's talk about it. And I was like, I'm sort of stuck in this area. He's like, have you unlocked this part? Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna go fly around. Well, that part you can actually die in, which it seems like the game's just free flowing, like no deaths, whatever. It's called Children of the Light, so you need to get light sources to rejuvenate your health. And the area that we were in, it was raining, so the rain was actually killing my light and killing my health. So I died once and realized there's all these little candle areas with like a shelter over them. So you go next to a candle and you regain your health very slowly. But that was just in that area, and I was able to unlock everything. But you can like buy upgrades. Like the more candle like light sources that you get is like your currency sort of, and you can share that currency like with a friend then too that you just met, and they can share it right back to you. So like it's like this ever growing like exchange of currency, but really it's just like light. Really fun. Highly recommend it to everyone. It's a free game too. And I'm pretty sure I just heard today as well, but this might be old news, that Journey is actually out on the iOS too now. So you can download Journey for your phone as well.
Did you try it? Did
no,
you look it up?
not yet. But it makes sense since Sky is out as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same controls. Like the left part of the screen is like how you run, like move forward. The right part of the screen is how you turn the camera around. And then you can like double tap to fly, hold it down to like boost, whatever. Pretty simple controls, but really beautiful. Like even on my iPhone 6, like it looks great. And like, yeah, they're right. The music sounds amazing on it. So go download it. Let us know your thoughts. Email us or something.
Yeah, how'd you hear about it?
Through another podcast, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, cool, Journey? Hell yeah, I'm down. Free? Yeah. Like I was about to pay $4.99 or whatever. Like probably no more than $4.99
Yeah.
for it. But I was totally down for it because I absolutely love Journey. You know, even for a 2-hour game, totally worth it.
It is super good.
Do you have a PS3?
Yeah, I have to get it hooked up. I haven't touched it in a while because I didn't have a place to put it.
Blow that dust off. I'll let you borrow Journey.
Sounds good. I've got a list of a couple PS3 games I want to play.
Yeah.
So
Ni no Kuni.
yeah.
This one's short though. It only
yeah.
takes like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, it's one night.
Actually, the one that's on the top of my list is Heavy Rain.
How
haven't
long of a
played that
game
yet.
is that?
Huh?
How long of a game is that?
I'm not sure how long, but
It's a good game.
I know
though.
it definitely has my interest.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
a
just didn't have a way to
Telltale
play
game, right?
it. Maybe. I think
Yeah.
so.
It's like one of their first ones, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like a story-driven game, Tony. Where like you choose like the outcomes and this and that.
But apparently the storyline's really good.
Yeah, really deep.
So.
They just remastered that for the PS4 as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it physical or digital?
I want to say both.
I'll
Yeah.
have to look into it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tony, how about you? You play anything?
Well, the other weekend we were playing some Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
Yeah, on the
Ooh,
GameCube.
classic. Ooh,
Yeah, we were
GameCube.
playing on the GameCube, which I never played on the GameCube.
Yeah,
and
it
the
was fun.
controller is probably not the best controller for that game.
PS2 all the way.
Yeah, PS2 all the way.
Pretty
I
much.
Agree. Yeah.
Or the PSP was great for it. I remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were just doing like high score contests and playing horse and stuff. So
Played a lot of horse.
we were getting super into it.
You just get to that timer run out and you hit a manual real quick and you just combo that thing all the way out.
Hell yeah.
We're doing a lot of manuals. We were going back and forth on the scores. Like, I think Tony overall whooped me, but it all depended. And one thing that I absolutely enjoyed about it, while like looking something up, there was like cheat codes for it and like an area to put cheat codes in.
Oh, and Underground 2?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guarantee you my copy of Underground 2 from my childhood has my little post-it notes that I wrote all my cheat codes in and stuck in the manual.
Yeah.
To get like, was that the one? I think that was the one you could unlock Shrek. You could play as Shrek.
I think it's the remix one because I thought it was too.
Was it?
But
I didn't see Shrek.
but we couldn't get him, so I think it's
no,
Underground 2 remix.
I don't think so because it was on my PS2. It has. I remember playing a
or
Shrek.
maybe depending on which version you have, depends on what characters you unlock.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But you could get Star Wars Kid.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah, we had him, right?
No, we didn't have him.
Oh.
So we had just like
We had
the
a
people from
jester.
each city. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had a jester. We had the shrimp.
Oh, the shrimp guy. Yeah.
Shrimp vendor.
Shrimp vendor. We
Yeah,
had, like,
bullfighter.
Phil
Yep.
Margera. I
Yeah.
think.
Yep.
It was super fun.
I love that game.
Yeah, it was
I
a
want to
good
go
time.
play it now.
Yeah, we can play it after this.
Oh hell yeah! You're
yeah.
on.
What else did we play?
We played WarioWare, and that was the first time I ever checked that out.
Yeah, are you familiar with that game?
Which one did you play?
On GameCube as well.
I don't have the GameCube version, but I am
They're
aware
all
of
pretty
other.
much the same.
Yeah, I'm aware of other
Yeah.
versions, and I know they're kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's like ADD medicine, sort of.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's very fast mini games. It's Mario Party, but in 2-second intervals.
On speed.
Yeah, you gotta be super quick with it. Really fun party game where like maybe your friend's not into gaming, doesn't know how to game, doesn't really know what a controller is, but you're like, look, either you're tapping A or you're pressing up or down or left or right. That's all you gotta know, and you gotta do it like that, in 3 seconds. If you don't get it that quick, wait until the next turn. And that's it. Like, it's pretty much go until you're out. And, yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, those are fun. It's a fun series.
Yeah. I wish Mario Party was more like that in a sense.
You know what they
games.
should do is they should have Mario Party, but then like on the screen you could switch to like Wario version or something.
I would love that.
And then you could do like real quick. So it'd be in the same game, but it would just be like a different mode, like how they had like in the Super Mario with the the Luigi mode or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I agree. I would love that. Another game I played, I went to Target the other day, and I was looking at this Switch kiosk there. It was all beautiful, and like Kayla walks by, and she's like, "Don't you even dare!" And I'm like, now I'm just making a joke. I'm like, it's not like I asked someone how much this would be if they took it out back for me. And she like literally walked away from me. She's like just so upset. I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, don't worry about it. But I was playing Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on
Oh, I love that game.
and realized that I have it on the Wii U. So came home and played like 10 or 12 levels on that. Got up to the first boss. It's a super simple game. It's like an isometric puzzle game where like you're the small little toad guy that has to like find coins, find these diamonds. There's 3 diamonds per level. You don't have to find them all, but those are like the puzzle parts of it, is like how to locate it, and like the whole level you can spin around.
And
to,
if
like,
you're a
see every area.
completionist, you need to find those things.
Yeah, you need to find them. But pretty much you get the star for every level, which is pretty self-explanatory how to get to the star. Like, it's just moving around the map until you get to it. The diamonds are where it's at, where it's harder. So like I got up to like level 8, and then it went. You're like in a book, and each page is a different level, and it threw in a level on a previous page, which was like a bonus coin level, which was a lot of fun.
Those are fun.
Yeah, didn't realize what I was doing. It was almost like a WarioWare game where it was only 10 seconds long, and I had to collect as many coins as possible, throwing turnips at them. But then I got to the boss, and granted, it was the first boss, but fairly easy. It's not a game that I'm like itching to go back to in any sense, and I know it's near the beginning. I don't know. Do you know how many levels there are?
I can't remember. It's been probably a year or two since I beat mine on Wii U.
Okay.
I did buy it for Switch, and I haven't beaten it on Switch yet, just because I've
feel
already
like
beaten
there has
it.
to be like 100 levels.
I don't want to say I spent that long on the game,
Okay.
so I don't think so.
I mean, each level's a pretty short level.
Yeah, they're quick, and like I said, as long as you're not a completionist in any form, you can blaze through that thing real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to.
But if you're like me and you got to get all the coins, you're gonna sit there and figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's a fun game.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I recommend it too, especially if like you want something that keeps you entertained, but you can also like put down and be like, all right, that's enough. You know, like something that doesn't suck you in too hard, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say it's one of those, I have like a stack of games that's like if I have a half an hour to kill or if I have like an hour or two to kill and I don't want to invest myself into a long game, that's like one of my go-tos.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I was playing it on the Wii U gamepad, which definitely different because you can't zoom in that well. Like you can zoom in close to your guy, but you can't see the map still. So I'm like looking at the whole map on this small little screen, and it's sort of tough that way. Definitely the Switch version would be the way to go, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I do like the Switch version.
But yeah, fun game.
Yeah.
Switch version is like what, only $40 as well, I think. It's
not a full probably. Price game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's DLC with it. That comes prepackaged with it.
Yes, and also it's on 3DS too.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It's on 3 platforms now.
So guess what I just ordered? I haven't bought like a physical game in a while, but I've been itching and thinking about playing Animal Crossing.
Dude.
For the longest time. You know Animal Crossing, right, Tone?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. I was listening to podcasts about it.
Did you play New Leaf at all?
That's what I ordered.
You haven't played it yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, boy. I'm about to go break that thing. So...
We can, like, go to each other's towns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
I want to do that.
When I left college...
I'm not much for Animal Crossing.
Oh, it's so good. When I graduated college... And it was like 2 months later is my birthday. And my birthday gift to myself was I'm going to buy myself a 3DS.
Yeah.
And that was like the first console I had bought for myself or like anything in a very long time that was brand new. So I was like, I'm going to treat myself. And it was the year that the Majora's Mask version came out. And I missed that one, unfortunately. But because I was too late to the party. But because it came out on my birthday and that's why I wanted it. But... So I bought the 3DS and I bought Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion because I was going out to California and I wanted stuff to play on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
And Luigi's Mansion is great. It's one of my favorite games. And the second one was, it was good. It wasn't the first one, but it was good. And then New Leaf sucked me in like no game has ever. I played that game every day.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
For years. I went to work. For years. I went to work. Like, I worked a desk job at an insurance company, like health insurance company, and I would take my lunch break and go and sit and eat and play New Leaf. And then my coworker, the cubicle next to me, after she came later than I did. After I met her, I was talking about it the one time, and she saw me doing it, and then she was like, oh, man, I'll have to bring mine next time so we can do it. And so we used to sit at our lunch breaks together. And play New Leaf and just like trade fruits and stuff in our town and like it was so fun. But that game like was so calming and just it was like such a staple in my life and it kept me like grounded for like years and years.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about how sucked in I'm gonna get. Honestly, Like, you know how Tony gets scared about VR sucking you in? I feel like I'm going to be sucked in.
Animal Crossing will bring you in. You'll be talking about the animals. You'll be like,
yeah.
Man,
feel like
I saw this KK Slider concert last night. He was ripping. Like
that's like one of the characters in Animal Crossing.
he's like a
KK
DJ,
Slider.
but he's a dog. Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can't wait. I hope it doesn't detract me from playing other video games.
So the thing I did would be like
Get your shit done.
It was my unwind game. So
Yeah.
either my lunch break or when I was going to bed at night. Like I would take an hour.
Yeah.
Before I'd be laying in bed playing my 3DS in my town for like an hour, turn it off, and then that was it. Like so I would have my rest of my day, but it was just like I had a designated time that I would like relax with it.
So I bought a physical CIB copy for like $15. The guy had it up for like 19, and they were all going for like 20 or more. And I offered him 15, and he accepted right away, which was cool. But then I realized the version I got might not be Amiibo compatible.
So they all are because the copy I got, like I said, was, years ago. And then they only did the Amiibo patch like probably a year, maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
So while the Nintendo Select version says, new with Amiibo or whatever, there's a patch you download on the 3DS or like the update for it that is Amiibo capable.
Cool.
So.
And I'm not really an Amiibo person.
You can get the Amiibo cards now.
Oh.
There's Animal Crossing Amiibo cards for Happy Home Designer.
So what do the Amiibos give you? Items or characters?
They might give you. I didn't use many Amiibos with it. I maybe tried it once.
Yeah, and I really don't have many Amiibos.
I have them all.
But I know I have the Wii U version of Animal Crossing.
But
that might be like unopened.
That's entirely different than any Animal Crossing game. It is
shitty?
No, it's basically Mario Party. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not. I mean, it's cute.
Okay.
It's Animal Crossing, but it's Mario Party.
Okay.
So it's like a party game.
Yeah, I don't want to play.
And then they have Happy Home Designer, which is a little bit different than the regular Animal Crossing games too. So
what's that on?
That one is on 3DS as well.
Oh no, I don't want that.
Yeah, that one you're just like designing homes and like interiors for certain clientele, I guess, like the different animals and stuff.
No, I want to do that for myself.
Yeah, but New Leaf is.
I want to get them fossils.
It's life changing.
I want to dig into that dump. I want to trade apples for peaches.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make that museum lively. I want to get an Easter Island statue for my basement of my house.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get a funny hat to wear. Can you do that?
Absolutely. Your outfits can be whatever you want. I think I have a Zelda hat.
Yeah, I need that. Can't wait. It's probably coming tomorrow.
Nice, dude. You'll have a good weekend of
no, I'm busy.
Animal Crossing.
Dude, you can just pop that thing in. You'll be fine.
I'm getting a massage on Sunday.
Do it while you get the massage. Best of both worlds.
Oh, you know what? I could, since they have that like face area.
Yep.
And just like put my hands around the bed.
Dude, you know what you should do? Bring your PlayStation VR. Hook it all up.
I couldn't put my head into it.
But if you could, wouldn't that be a funny thing to do?
Sir, excuse me, can I just cut like a little slit on each side so my eyepiece fits in?
I don't know if they would allow me to play a video game.
You're supposed to relax. Probably won't. They'll probably have some
I'll be like, hey, it's Animal Crossing. This is the most relaxing game there is.
They'll have some like meditation music on in the background and some essential
can you turn
oils.
That off? I need to turn my Game Boy up. Max volume.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't wait.
You're gonna love it.
I know, and that's exciting that you actually have like a big save file because maybe you can get back into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into it now. Again, that we're talking
trade.
about it. Yeah, I'm gonna boot that thing up tonight.
Hell yeah.
So inspired.
Yes. I used to play the GameCube version forever.
That was fun.
I remember I'm pretty positive I talked about this on the podcast in the past, but having an e-reader for the Game Boy Advance and scanning in the Animal Crossing cards, and I forget what you got with them, like maybe like different people that would show up to your town.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But like I know going through my memory cards the other day on GameCube, there was just one that was Animal Crossing because I'm pretty sure it takes up a whole memory card.
Yeah, it's a pretty pretty
And I
substantial
want to
game.
go back into that since it's been like 15 years, or 10 years, and they're going to be like, everyone's dead, Bo. Thanks for leaving us. Where have you been? Like, I wonder if it'll like act that way, Not everyone gory dead, but like, where have you been?
Yeah, they like when you come back after a while, they like check in and they're like, well, everything's been fine, but like you've been gone. We were worried about you.
Your house burnt down.
Well, no.
Your wife left you.
Oh, these things happen.
I'm wearing your shoes.
Things got weird over there.
Yeah. Oh, your house?
They turned it into like
a sex shop.
Okay. This video game's too wholesome for any of these things. It's the most wholesome game out there.
We just sell peaches in your house now.
Yeah.
Peaches.
There's like in New Leaf though, there's a couple animals that'll like throw some shade at you though.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Like this one podcast I was listening to, it's called Ass Town because he was the mayor of Ass Town. But he brought in like a bunch of different people that played it, and like they're saying like what their towns were and this and that. This one lady like started tearing up because one of her townspeople left her town.
You get so attached to them.
And she was like, I didn't realize how attached I was until he left the town.
Yeah.
And like I felt like I did something wrong. And
it's so stupid weird.
I'm like, I
do
sort of
they come back or what?
No,
no,
they're gone forever.
Leave.
Why do they leave?
Because they're like,
because you didn't make them happy.
Yeah, they're like, well, I'm off to do other things now, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
There's like, I think there are like 2 animals that were like from the first, like, the first people that moved in. There are like 2 of those left in my town, and it's like if they ever leave,
so it's constantly rotating. Then.
Yeah, and I was like, if they ever leave, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Bengals, my boy.
Bangle.
Yeah, gotta stay in
but
there.
it's all like randomly generated too. Like everyone's town will be different.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And also where they put you is randomly generated too.
Yeah. Yeah. So the towns all look different as well. But it'd be weird if like we both have the same fruit trees.
Yeah.
I'll just start over.
Find
out what fruit tree
No,
you
but
have.
I have taken some from my friends, so I have a lot of different ones. So I don't think it'll matter at this point anymore since I have such a like expansive.
Can you plant your own trees?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you get the fruit, if you plant it in the ground,
sweet,
then you can grow that tree.
Hell yeah.
But sometimes they die, so you got to get a couple in there just in case.
About to be a millionaire.
There's this like pin company. I saw I got a pin from one time, and then I started following them on Instagram because they're so like they did such a good job with the pin. I think it was the Klonoa one I got.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, and they did such a good job. I was like, oh, I'm gonna follow them, and like if they have any more, I want to get them. And they just released like an Animal Crossing line, and I want to show you right now. But they're so funny. Like I think that there's one with the bells. I can't remember what it says.
Oh, that's cute. Treat yourself.
I think the bells one says "fuck you, pay me."
don't at me.
Don't
on like the billboard sign.
Yeah.
Of Animal Crossing. That's cute. See that?
They're so funny. Zeller pins, I believe it is.
I'm perfect with all the fruit.
With all the fruits on it.
That's
like
great.
It's just such a good line of pins. So
I like these pins because they're clever enough that like
I like a good clever pin.
Like
yeah.
only people that know that game would understand. Belief in yourself.
Yes, I like that one too because it's the leaf. Actually, that's a couch. You just can't
Tony,
tell.
we're getting you into Animal Crossing.
Dude, we're all gonna have towns.
I'm not even
your head, so no.
I'm not even emotionally stable enough to freaking run a town.
Yeah, you are.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be the best mayor.
Big Tony. Do it, man.
We'll see.
You can replace him easily.
Can't wait.
I can't wait to replace
Tony's
Tony.
leaving me. I got a new Animal Crossing game to play. Life will be good.
Yeah, just make that your life.
Trading peaches for apples and
Bananas
seashells at the seashore.
Dude, I mean, that's basically what we do every day anyway.
Fishing.
Is trade fossils to the museum and
bug catching.
Yeah.
Catching
fishing.
bugs.
God, it's the
Dude,
best.
you're trading your life to the man so you can make a paycheck.
You hear that, the man?
The man.
You hear that?
At the man.
Yeah, I mean, taxes are bullshit. That's why I like eBay. You don't gotta pay tax.
Who's eBay?
The man's man.
The man's man.
The babysitter of the man. Let's get to our topic of discussion. What everyone's been waiting for, especially me. Been thinking about this all week. It's weird controllers. There's so many different peripherals out there. Is that a word?
Yes.
That makes sense for controllers, right?
Yes. Peripherals are like the attachments usually, but you can use it, I guess, probably
So many
interchangeably.
phalanges for consoles out there, right? That would make sense too.
Yeah, that's also fingers, though.
No, it's
So-
like things that protrude.
Oh, okay.
There's so many boners for video games. That's protruding. All right, too much. Weird controllers, everyone. Weird controllers. These are mainly third-party controllers. Mainly. But one person, I put out a post today about weird controllers, and he mentioned, no, I don't even have the name up, so fuck that. He mentioned that, the weirdest controller to him was actually the original N64 controller, which I sort of agree with him. I have some weird ones myself that I would rather mention. Let's see who it is, sorry. Red Wolf Music, at Red Wolf Music. He said, just the original N64 controller is enough. Main reason I've always stuck to PlayStation. He's a Sony fan.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
I love N64 games. I love playing them, but that controller is the worst.
But I feel like when it came out, it was ahead of its time. We were all like, whoa.
If you had 3 hands.
We were like, joysticks? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
if you
the
had 3
D-pad
hands
didn't
for
really
it.
make sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have just been 2-pronged and we would have been fine, but
Yeah.
And they had, like, the joystick for it was really not that good of quality, huh?
Yeah.
yeah, they kind of loosen up after a while.
Yeah, they wear out real
After
quick.
playing Mario
Not
Party.
super comfortable.
Yeah. You have no joystick left.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it would be the worst first-party controller to me would be the Wii.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Dead right.
It's not that bad.
The Wii, all it cared about was motion controls, which was horrible. Like, you could just see it on the start menu, where you would, like, be holding your arm literally straight, and the controller cursor laser pointer thing would be, like, fidgeting out like you have, like, Tourette's or
Yeah,
something.
but once you stick the nunchuck on the side, you're golden. You're good to go.
Oh, yeah, is that makes the Tourette stop, or what?
No, but I think it makes it better because you have your joystick control now for your game instead of your motion control.
How about you, Tony? What's the worst controller for you?
Honestly, just from, like, it's not one of the worst controllers to most people, but the worst one that I've had a lot of experience on was like the original Xbox one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are thick.
For how big it was.
Yeah, it was just, and I was younger, then
And
my
being
hands
a
were
kid,
smaller.
yeah,
So it was
absolutely.
like miserable to try and play anything on that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. The Duke.
Yeah, the Duke.
The Duke. And actually, while doing some research on these weird controllers, there's a third-party original Xbox controller that's bigger than the Duke.
I will
Really?
talk about that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I
You
have
got
it.
that down?
Yeah, I have it down.
All right. Well, Kelly,
Don't steal my thunder.
take the reins. Take the reins.
All right. Well, we'll go right into that one since you teed it up for me.
Okay.
So there was only one controller that was bigger than the Duke for Xbox, which was massive. And thank God they scaled it down a little bit. But
Yes.
they had one, and it was by Gamester, and it was called FPS Master Controller. And it was, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to Google pictures while I try to describe it, if you don't know. I actually had one of these, and I got rid of it because it was so weird. But it is like a brownish, grayish,
Gamester?
greenish. Yeah, Gamester. And it was like this big, chunky, two triggered, literal trigger controller. And you have programmable buttons and a screen in the middle. So you could, the idea was that this is for FPS.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah. This is for FPS, and you can program your buttons however you like, and it had side triggers, it had literal triggers on the back, and then you had your...
And this looked like a great idea.
It
for a
did.
controller.
I tried it one time, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
So what did the screen do?
I didn't even get that far because I couldn't figure out how to work the thing.
It reminds me of like a Tamagotchi screen.
It does. It kind of looks like that. The whole thing was they called it the Master Controller, and they made it the color scheme it was to appeal to the Halo fans.
Yeah.
And to make it the programmable, like, this is for FPS games. We want it to be amazing. Like, we want you to have the ability to change your button mapping and everything like that to make it more accessible, which is great in theory, but the thing is huge and it's clunky. And I couldn't get the programming down, and I was like, goodbye.
And I'm sure a lot of them don't work nowadays because those triggers
I don't know.
popped off.
They did make one for PS2 as well, which was like a blue-gray.
Yeah.
But I think you're more likely to see the Xbox one.
Yeah.
Than the PS2 one.
I'd be interested in that middle screen. Honestly, it reminds me of like a Dreamcast memory card. Like
it does kind of look like that.
I'm sure it's not detachable, but
no, it's not.
It looks cool. Whatever.
I think you basically just use it. If I remember what it would look like when I tried it, you just use it to like figure out what you're programming where when you program the buttons. So, but that's the first one I have.
Yeah.
But that was that's an interesting one.
Definitely weird.
Yeah, and it's huge. I don't know if I have any other. Well, we'll go in the other Xbox one I have. So we'll stay on the same vein here.
Okay.
Everybody knows about this one usually. Steel Battalion.
Steel Battalion.
Steel Battalion. Which
probably the biggest controller setup type thing for just one game.
Yes. It was released in 2002 on the Xbox. It was this huge like console of buttons, about over 40 buttons, like 2 joysticks, foot pedals, and each of them did different things because the game you were in like a mech suit. It was like a virtual tank game, and you had to control each individual piece, I guess, of your suit. I've never played it, so I'm not really sure.
The box itself that it came in was probably like a 2 foot by 2 foot cube.
Right.
And it's 4 giant like pieces. It wouldn't even fit on the coffee table right now that we're in front of recording.
It's literally a whole cockpit console. It's insane.
Yeah, you need like 2 fold out tables just to like fit it all around you, and then have foot pedals as well.
Yeah.
Where you have 3 different pedals. Like you said, like 2 like aerial like joysticks that you push up.
It sounds like basically from what I could see and hear on the internet with reviews and such on the game is like you basically have all these buttons and they all do different things to control your mech suit, and if you don't execute it correctly, you are like ejected and die. Wow. So it's like you're actually piloting it. It's not like, when you're in a mech suit, you just in a game you usually just go in and you control like you're flying and you're gunning and whatever, but this is like you're controlling each individual like movement and how you're tilting and like all this stuff. It just seems so intense. But this game was like, it had a limited release on this initially. And it retailed at like $200 when it came out,
which is fairly cheap for how big it is.
I think it's going for like around 300 now, maybe, if what I saw on eBay was correct.
Nobody really wants it.
Yeah.
It's too big.
It's huge. But they did do a re-release. The original release had green buttons, and the re-release had blue buttons. So if you ever are in the market for one, or if you see one, I guess the button color is if you have the original or the re-release of it.
Okay.
So
the more expensive one would be the original.
Probably.
If it's in good condition.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
That's funny they did a re-release on something...
Yeah, and I don't know when they re-released it.
Probably didn't sell that well.
Yeah, I don't know when they re-released it either. I couldn't find that. So, yeah, 2002 is when that came out, but that was pretty interesting.
So I got Knickknack's Full Frontal Attack.
Mike. That's my man, Mike.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't know Mike yet, but
what's up, Mike?
What up, Mike?
He's a good dude.
Knickknack's Full Frontal Attack. I like your name. He said either the Resident Evil chainsaw or the Wu-Tang Shaolin style pad for the PlayStation. There were also a bunch of oddly elaborate gun grips for the Wii back in the day. So let's talk about the first one he mentioned, which also my buddy Matt's Video Game Corner said Yo, that's awesome. I like that Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. That thing is badass.
Let that air out.
There was a bunch of asses at then. So yeah, let's talk about the Resident Evil 4 controller, chainsaw controller. I mean, have you seen pictures of this, Tone?
Yeah. Did you know that it's actually all different blood splatters?
Yeah, boy.
There you
That's
go.
pretty cool.
That's what gets me excited for it. Like if
Just
I
that.
like if I would collect it, like that each one is unique in that
Yeah.
sense. So there's blood splatter all on the actual like chain of the chainsaw. And it's all different. Like obviously it's easy enough to paint blood splatter, like you just flick a paintbrush at it, have everything else taped up. So having probably different people do it, more paint on the paintbrush, whatever, just each thing is unique. It's not machine made, it's man made. So I love that idea behind it and that they actually did that. How many were made?
So I'll give you a little background.
Okay.
It came out in 2005 on the GameCube. For those who didn't know, it's literally a giant chainsaw with controllers on the top handle of it. It was made by Newbie Tech, and it came out at $49.99 retail. And
That's
there's
not bad.
only 50,000 made.
Okay.
So, and you're right with the unique blood splatter on each of them. And then they also came in a little stylized box, like a display box.
Yep.
And then inside the display box, even the stand that it sits on inside the box it's made to look like rocks and wood. So it's in like, it really feels like it came directly from the game itself. However, it's like really clunky. The chainsaw doesn't spin. And like you can't take the blade off or anything. Like,
I mean,
so
I'm
you
glad
just
it
have
doesn't spin. I'm glad it's not a real blade.
But no, but you could like make it like like make a rotating, like they make on those prop Halloween costumes.
It would
and
be
stuff
cool.
like that.
Like it'd be cool if that was like the way that it would vibrate. Maybe
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
every time you were hit, it would go. Zzz,
yeah. But it was just like it's a really clunky controller. I mean, people bought it, but it was more for the fact that it was a collector's piece.
It was the display case for sure.
It was a very high quality. Like they did a really great job with it, but it was just the reason why it was a controller didn't make sense.
It was for people that had shelf space back in the day, because nobody has shelf space anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nope, nobody. Don't matter how many shelves you have.
They're
all filled.
Let's talk about Wu-Tang Clan.
All right, I got
controller.
that one too.
I love this controller.
It's so cool.
So if you're familiar with Wu-Tang, which everyone should be, the W symbol. It is literally the W symbol as a controller, a 3D controller for the original PlayStation, for Shaolin ninjas or monks or
no, it was Wu-Tang Clan Shaolin style for PlayStation 1.
Which was like a beat 'em up, or
it was a fighting game. It was probably akin to like I'm trying to think of,
not like
it's not
one
like
versus one.
No, it's not like Mortal Kombat. It was
more
like
story mode.
Yeah, it was more, and it was like
the Warriors.
Yes, there was like the master got kidnapped or something, and you have to fight people to get him back or whatever.
Like Yakuza or something.
Yeah, but yeah, you kind of traveled through it level by level in a way, I guess. But yeah, it came out in 1999, and I mean the game is, I think, received well just because it's Wu-Tang, but then you don't see the controller
Nobody
very
fucks
much.
With Wu-Tang.
Gotta protect your neck.
Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Neither is this game.
Neither is the controller.
And neither is the controller. So, I love this controller. It looks awkward as hell. It's literally a W in your hands. Has anyone touched one?
No, I haven't seen one in real life.
I'm about to buy one.
My favorite thing about it, I think it'd be cool, is that the fact that it's black and the yellow buttons on it and just pops.
Yeah.
It's just so nice and clean.
So nice.
And that I mean, the W is so cool. I mean, it can't be functional in your hands very well because it's a giant plastic W.
Yeah.
But you can use this for all other PlayStation
Yes, it
games,
is just
right?
a regular controller, so you could use
That's
it cross games. It shouldn't have any effect.
That one person that, had abnormal fingers and phalanges, he's like, thank God the Wu-Tang Clan made a controller for me.
We often thank God for the Wu-Tang Clan, but,
Yes.
that's just one reason.
Thank you.
And then he did say something about the Wii guns, which I actually have a
I'm
memory.
not familiar with those.
I actually have a memory, Mike. If you're listening, you might remember this. I went to your house when I was in college, and we played as a group. There was a bunch of my friends there. We all played Dead Space Extraction, and we had the zapper guns.
Yeah.
That game was so fun with those. I mean, I have a zapper because of that experience. It was just like it made the shooters better on the Wii. It was really fun.
So
it just
you put the actual Wii nunchuck.
Yes, and you put the nunchuck in the back and the Wiimote in the front, and you're
Okay.
kind of holding it like this. But there were a lot of different weird gun grips besides the zapper,
Yeah, I
but the
sorta
zapper was
remember
good.
Like a Bass Pro Shop one or something.
Yeah, they had like a Cabela's
rifle.
one.
Yeah, Cabela's.
They had there was one I had that had like a laser aimer, like
Oh, that's
aim
cool.
like for it, so you could turn it on, and if you were like aiming it at the TV, you could see with your laser where it was gonna go, and it had like a little vibration too,
Yeah.
which was interesting. Those are like the most interesting gun grips I can think of off the top of my head. But they definitely Wii accessories. They had a bunch of them. The one I mean, if you think about it, the Wii balance board is, in
Super
itself weird, but very functional.
That's something you'll always find at a Goodwill.
Absolutely. But I mean, I think I have one.
I have one too.
I think it's great. Like, I remember playing games on it when the Wii came out, like playing skiing games, stuff like that where you do your balance.
Oh, I didn't realize you could play games like that.
Yeah, you can use it as like a balancing.
I thought it was just for like the Wii Fitness.
Oh yeah, I've done Wii Fit too, but like there were games you could do. Like
Wow.
you could use. I think there's like games that have like winter events and stuff like that where you would need to lean a certain way.
Yeah.
And you would go that way or whatever. And then, of course, we always had, like, for Wii Sports, you had your golf clubs or baseball bats or tennis rackets. My favorite one was the bowling ball. Did you see that?
Yes.
There's a Wii bowling ball that came out.
Which is the most ridiculous, like, attachment for a Wii controller.
Why is it ridiculous?
Because you put the nunchuck into a
inside of
bowling
the
ball.
bowling ball.
Didn't they have a golf club too?
They had golf
Yes.
clubs and baseball
What's the
bats, but
difference?
those just attached on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this,
was
you
like
took
a
apart-
full bowling
It
ball,
was
classic
it was a
bowling ball.
pound. It was a full pound of a bowling ball. You
Okay.
took it apart. You stuck the Wiimote inside of it, closed it back up, and there were buttons on the top.
Yeah.
And you would play Wii bowling like this with a 1 pound bowling ball.
That
in your
sounds
hand.
great for someone who really loves Wii bowling.
And it sounds like it's gonna go right through your TV.
Yeah, that, or, you're doing the same motion anyway with a nunchuck,
Yeah.
which I guess is the same
You
thing
just-
with a golf club.
You're just
you know?
adding that
Exactly.
pound of weight now.
I guess
with
it's
a ball.
adding more of a reality to what you're doing.
Exactly.
I think that's what the whole thing was, but I
Yeah.
just think that one was just so weird compared to all the other
I
ones.
agree.
But Wii bowling is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
So
the
good.
best Wii sport?
Bowling.
Yeah.
Duh. I mean,
Well, tennis is.
I was gonna say tennis is pretty good, but
Yeah.
bowling absolutely.
I like tennis, honestly.
But yeah, then this one we were just talking about a little while ago for the Wii. We talked about Tony Hawk's Ride.
Yes.
So that came out on the Wii, the 360, and the PS3. But it was basically like a balance board, except it was a skateboard.
Yeah.
And it had the full buttons on the back side of it. But you would line it up, and it would depend if you tilted a certain way or if you popped the front of
Yeah.
the
So you
board
didn't
up.
actually have to do like a real ollie. You could just pop the back tail down and the front up, and that would make you jump with the skateboard.
Yeah.
Hence
Oh,
ollie.
really?
Yeah. So yeah, you didn't have to do a kickflip. Like I watched a guy do a video of it while he was on it, and like he did like a 180 spin with the back end on the ground, and then did another 180. So it was a full 360. And in game, like Tony Hawk did like a double kick flip, like that spun around in a circle, and there was like flowers and beams of light all around him because it was like sort of a hard trick, I guess, like in real life, but then in TV it just made it into like something that definitely wasn't what he did, but it still looked really cool.
Yeah.
What did you just do, Tony?
Nothing.
You doing a story right now?
Tony's
You
grabbing
on
it
Instagram right now?
Yeah.
while we're working. But But yeah, that game came out in 2009, it said, and Activision was the one behind it. Do you guess how much it retailed for when it came out? The package with the game and the board.
150.
With you saying that, 200. No?
120.
120?
I thought that was ridiculous because you can walk into any Goodwill now and find it.
Really?
I've seen so many ride boards at Goodwill.
I saw it online for like $10.
Yeah, it's cheap as
Like
hell.
free shipping, $10.
Yep.
I'm like, this
They're
is a big board.
They're gonna lose
Yeah.
money on that. That's
Yeah.
way more than $10 to ship. But otherwise, no, it seemed pretty cool, and I love a good Tony Hawk game. But I had
It was very different type of Tony Hawk game
Yeah.
too. It seemed like it was like right behind the skater the whole
Yeah.
time. Like
Yeah, that seems
the
weird.
Camera. But it makes sense because it's like almost first person then, that you can see what you're doing while you're doing it in real life. Like,
yeah
it definitely makes sense. And on the subject of like skateboarder-y games, there's this game. The first name of it is so weird. It's City Skater. Essentially, it's like Yana Kana Bana City
banana.
Skater. But you had like this little tech deck that you could put over the joysticks of the PS2 controller, and you would literally put your fingers on the tech deck like thing and do tricks that way, moving your fingers back and forth on the skateboard, and through that you could play the game. It didn't get good reviews, so I'm guessing, either that whole scheme wasn't good or the game itself just wasn't really good either. But a cool gimmicky way to play a game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the ones that I found were between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. I think has
agree.
the most interesting controllers.
Yeah, a lot of third party.
So a lot of the ones that I found on my list here were that. So
Let's run them down.
here we go. Brace yourselves,
Let's
everyone.
do
You're
it.
going to be here for 3 hours. So the first one, and one of the ones.
Tony looks scared. He's like 3 hours. Fuck.
Let me break these knuckles. Here we go.
Big tone.
So a lot of the ones that people think of, and I know we saw this at Too Many Games, is the Soul Katana from Onimusha 3.
Yes.
So this controller was wild. It's literally a katana sword. It's like
Life size.
life size. This came out in 2004. It was a wireless controller, and you could only use it for Onimusha 3.
And was this for PS2?
PS2, yes.
Yeah.
So it was like your attacks were a swiping motion, like you would.
It literally only worked for that game.
Yes.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. But you could have the swiping motion be your attack, so it was like lightly motion controlled. And it had like the buttons and your DualShock like joysticks on the handle of the sword. So if you needed to do something else, there's you had to finagle your hands in there really weirdly to be slicing and like controlling with all of your buttons up there as well.
Did the sword actually come out of the
Sheath.
There was a
Sheath.
removable blade. So there was like a stand and I think a sheath you could put it in. But if you were playing, say you're playing in your house, like in here, you have all this space to swing. But say you're at grandma's and she's got her fine china behind you.
Yeah.
You got to detach that blade. You got the little stump that's basically just the handle with the buttons. And you
Damn.
could play that way. So if you had limited space, you could still use it.
That's
which was
cool.
nice. And that's why I said like with the chainsaw, you couldn't take that off. That's still
Yeah.
a huge piece of a controller. But this one you could bring it down a little bit if you
Yeah.
wanted to. So that one was really weird, and you don't see it often, but that's
Super weird.
super weird
I
controller.
heard it's super uncomfortable. And back to the
Yeah.
chainsaw. That was PS3 or 2?
GameCube.
And PS2 then.
I think so, yeah.
So that was a wired controller even.
Uh,
had
It
to
may
be.
not have
yeah,
been.
I
GameCube was
don't
the
know.
first one to come out with like
Yeah.
decent working, wireless controller.
Yeah.
Right, the
I
Wavebird.
want to say that was wired though. I want to know how heavy that controller
Yeah.
was.
It just looks bulky as heck.
Yeah. Like you would almost have to play with it like on your lap, You couldn't
Yeah.
be standing up like
Yeah.
Jason.
It did have those two handles on it, too, like an
Yeah.
actual chainsaw, so you could grab it in a
It's
weird way.
wild.
Anyway.
All right.
Moving on. This is another one that a lot of people know, but and have seen around, but it's still really weird. The Dragon Quest slime controller
Yes.
for PS4.
Yes.
They made it in 2017.
I almost
Square
bought this
Enix.
multiple times.
Yeah, it looks just like the little blue slime. I haven't played Dragon Quest, so I don't know that much. So forgive me.
It's literally the first enemy that you'll encounter.
Yeah, I know what it looks like. I just don't
in
know.
any Dragon Quest game, yeah.
I don't know what it's all the
very,
technicalities
very
of it.
simple water droplet looking slime.
And he's smiling and cute. I think he's
cute.
adorable, but
He's
it's a
super
very thick, rounded bottom, so you're basically holding a Hershey Kiss and
Yep.
playing
Yep.
the PlayStation. So I feel like it'd be really interesting. But I did find,
I'm probably gonna buy one.
well, here you go. I did find that they're making one for Switch in September.
Yeah, I almost thought they already made it.
Yeah. So, and it's going to come with a little cardboard stand that has a little treasure chest on
I
it,
think
so you
I'd
can
rather
put it.
buy the PS4
You
one.
can put it. Yeah, you can put the little droplet or whatever is little slime drop behind, and then you have like a little like cardboard dock for your Switch on this treasure chest. So.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool, but that's
Yeah.
coming in September. So if anybody wants that, I guess find the appropriate channels to get that.
I have 2 controllers for my PS4. I have multiple controllers for my Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But my second controller for PS4, it has that like joystick drag. Yeah, like it sucks. So I'll have that slime as my player 2 controller.
Oh, you're
So-
gonna
so if
you're gonna
anyone
Mad
wants
Cats
to-
it up.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to come over and play a PS4 game with me, I'm
They gotta
like,
play the
here
slime.
you go. You gotta use
You
this
gotta play
fucking
the slime.
Tony, you got the slime.
Oh my god.
The most awkward controller, I'm sure.
Oh
And
my
they made
god.
something similar to the slime back in the day. I think it was spherical for the PS3.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually I think it was the proto. No. It was
No,
like a
came out
prototype
for
of
a
something for
certain game.
PS3, I thought.
Yeah, it was something. I didn't write
I
it
can
down.
I can picture it. It's like silver.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
silver,
I can
yeah.
picture it. I don't remember what it was. But all right, going on to the next one, we've got the Namco JogCon, which was for PS1. It was basically a normal PS1 controller, but instead of the joysticks, the analog joysticks, you had about like a 2 or 3 inch wheel that had a thumb indent, and you'd be playing, and it was for racing games. Specifically, it came
Yeah.
packaged with Ridge Racer 4, and you would be playing, and then you could take your thumb and turn it and
As
steer.
a wheel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But who drives their car with their thumb?
Exactly.
So it was not super well received.
This is like the one that people talk about the most, I feel like, because it's
Yeah.
such a awkward, weird controller. It's
Yeah.
like if you want a steering wheel, just get the actual
Just get a
steering
wheel.
attachment with a pedal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't try to do this with your finger because you're going to be driving off the track the whole time.
Yeah, that came out packaged with Ridge Racer 4 in 1998, and that I think it was only compatible with like that game and maybe like two others. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there really wasn't much to do with it either. If you had it, it was almost lost. Unless you had a lot of driving games, it wasn't really good.
Yeah. I'd
Um,
buy that, though.
Also, the next one I have, the Paradox. Have you seen that?
It rings a bell.
It was
Tell
for
me about it.
PS2. It was like the one I saw was like a reddish burnt orange looking.
Okay.
It came out in 2007 actually by a company called Reflex, and it was again mostly geared towards people who had FPS like shooters.
Yeah.
It also, which was super interesting to me, was you're aiming for PS2, but it also had a USB port on the back, so you could put it in your PC if you wanted to as
That's
well.
cool.
But the main thing that made this so weird was instead of your right analog stick, there was a trackball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So a giant red trackball where your right joystick should be.
I feel like that would be like great for like golf games. You know,
Golden
like,
Tee.
yeah, like those arcade games.
Oh yeah,
that would
no,
have
but
the golf
that
ball.
they were the reason they had it was basically they were trying to bring the best of both worlds between PC and console
Yeah.
FPS. Was you could be able to use the trackball like you would on your
It's so weird. Though.
games and then have it on your plate. Yeah, it was weird, but I did find the interesting about the USB port in the back, especially from a PS2 controller.
It would be reverse controls though, like the controls that I can't do.
Yeah.
You know, like going down would make you aim up.
Yeah, I hate that.
I
I
hate
always,
that.
I always,
Inverted.
Yeah,
I always
but
you
you
change
can
that. I always change that.
I don't know if you would be able to change it. with
I'm
the
sure you could
controller.
probably map that.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm sure you could figure that out.
Be
And
worth getting.
yeah, when it came out, it was retailed for $45, so it was a pretty like high end
Yeah.
controller at the time.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
Another one for PS2, I'm calling this a controller, is the iToy.
Okay.
Do you remember those?
Yeah, it was like Xbox 360
Yeah, it was
Connect.
basically the early versions of motion capture. So you had like a little USB webcam that you'd stick up on the top of your TV, and it's
Like what the VR is doing right now.
yeah, it's basically the size of like a credit card, and maybe about as thick as, I don't know, like a remote. And you'd sit it up there, and it would track your movements, and it had a microphone. So there were 8 games released in North America specifically for the iToy. iToy Play, iToy Anti-Grav. There was like a bunch of them like that where they had specific like mini games and stuff made for the iToy.
Okay.
It was made by Logitech. This was 2003 that it came out. But there were a lot of games then you could see on PS2 now, especially if you look at your collection. If you have some boxes, look at the front of the box. It should say on the, I think at top right, it has a little strip that says iToy compatible or iToy enhanced or something like that.
Yeah.
So like some of the DDR games and stuff like that, it would be motion capture. So it had like extra things, or there was like things, I think it said in like Tony Hawk's Underground 2, you could map your face on your
cool.
iToy, and then you could put it on your skater. There was like little things like that it could do in certain games, but it wasn't all motion capture.
Yeah.
But I think it was setting the stage for that, Wii life that we had, or the Kinect or whatever, when those motion captures were starting to come into play. I feel like that was the first one that really set it off there.
Yeah.
But that was a cool one. I like that.
I never had one.
I have one. I've used it like a couple times. It's interesting.
It reminds me of like what the original Game Boy camera was.
Yes.
Where you could take a picture of your face, put it into the game, do a juggling game.
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, except now that it had a microphone, so you could, give a command or whatever during the game, or you could wave your hand up and down, and it would capture that and translate it in. So it was just like a step up from that, which was pretty cool. The next one I have is the NegCon, which was from Namco. It was for the PlayStation 1. Came out in 1995. Again, another controller specifically geared towards racing games.
This was a twisty one?
The twisty one, yes.
Yeah.
So you would be holding it in your hands, and it was like bop it.
In the middle of it.
In the middle of it is a joint, and you would twist to steer.
To steer or accelerate?
I think it was steer.
Oh, that's so shitty.
Yeah, it didn't go over well.
Because to me, like, it would make sense for like a road rash game, like a motorcycle game.
Yeah,
or a dirt
this
bike
was
game
geared.
Where, like, that's your accelerator.
This
like,
was geared towards like Gran Turismo, and again like Ridge Racer and stuff like that was their clientele. And you would twist a turn. The problem was, not only is that a really crappy thing, but after a while, the twisting mechanism started to wear out.
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm sure if you find one now, it's
Think
probably hard to find one in nice.
People press buttons to accelerate.
Oh yeah.
If they're twisting to like turn harder,
they're
or
ripping
something,
that thing apart.
Yeah, they're
it's
ripping
all
that.
Plastic.
They're definitely ripping that shit apart. That's insane that they would even think that would last.
Yeah, it was
Wow,
crazy. All right, here's one I don't know if you've heard of on the PlayStation 2. The Res one. Have you heard about that?
Oh yeah,
This is a good one.
I actually heard about it.
And
I looked it up to buy it right away.
Oh my God.
I did not buy it though because they're expensive.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So for those who don't know, the Res Trance Vibrator. So
and we've talked about Res multiple times.
Yes.
I have it for PSVR and I also have it for the Dreamcast.
This game came out in 2001 on the PlayStation 2. Now Res was a musically based game. So
very graphically trippy.
Very rainbow,
Insane.
very trippy, a lot of stuff going on. But to help you stay on the beat, the controller vibrates. The PS2, like the DualShock, would vibrate. But after a while, it would just be like you'd run the vibrate function out, or you'd just like the controller would just break because it's constantly pulsing with the beat.
Or you don't feel it as well because you get so used to it.
Right. So the creators of this game came up with an attachment that you are supposed to either stick next to you or stick in your pocket to help you feel the beat more. And it's literally just like a little black thing that just vibrates to the beat.
So essentially people suck it on their penis.
Yeah, I was
played
gonna
this game.
say it went the opposite of, I'm sure, how they were intending.
No, they intended that the full way. Think about gamers.
Yeah.
They're horny.
I mean,
They want to play games and get off. That's all they care about.
I
That's why
guess
game.
marketing wise, they marketed it for one thing and it went for another.
I think it only came out in Japan though, as well, or Europe or something.
Yeah, I think so. It didn't stay around long once, it came out.
If I could hook that up to me while playing the VR, game on. Game would not last that long.
That's insane. That's too much.
All right.
Reel it back in because we've got another one for PlayStation.
Reeling
1.
it back in, let me talk to you about the fishing rods for the Dreamcast.
Oh, there we go. Let's talk about that.
Some of my favorite peripherals or phalanges when it comes to controllers of consoles. The Dreamcast fishing rods, yes, you could fish almost virtually with these fishing rods, or you can use them to play fighting games, which we learned about at Too Many Games this year. There's
Soul Calibur.
Yeah, there's a stand that had fishing rods, and because there's like these motion detecting things within the controllers where you don't have like a bar like the Wii or anything that detects it. It's just literally the motion of moving it up and down.
It was
left
up and
right.
down, left and right. It was really basic.
Very basic, but you can play fighting games with these controllers and just not touch any of the buttons on it and just wave it up, down, around in circles, and you can fight with it, and it's so much fun, especially on a Dreamcast. Like,
do you know the other game it's compatible with?
Honestly, I think it's compatible with.
That's not a fighting game. I mean,
Oh no,
Virtua Tennis.
that would make sense.
Yep. So you can play your tennis with a little wave.
I have that actually on my kiosk.
There
as
you
well.
go. Let's get your fishing rods.
All right.
Let's get tennising. We've got Wii tennis, and then we've got Dreamcast tennis. We're gonna have a tournament.
Hell yeah. Best of both.
But yeah, that was the only thing that it doesn't. The fishing rod doesn't have is it doesn't have a spot for the VMU.
Yes, I agree.
It's
so
I
there's
think
no
that,
saving.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that is like the downside of it.
You might be able to save like in like controller 3 or something if you're using 2 of them.
I'm sure, but
yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but for a first party, it's pretty cool.
Actually, I feel like there might be a port on the one.
I don't.
Okay,
I didn't see any.
I have 2 different versions. The one, shout out to Retropop Games. He traded me.
What up?
He sent me one for a trade of a bunch of different like cheap games that I had up. So thank you for that. I was supposed to post a picture about it, but never did. So here's my picture as
it's
a podcast.
Verbal.
Thank you.
The other cool thing about the fishing rod for the Dreamcast is it is the only official first-party fishing rod controller for any console.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
One of mine is the first party. It's all gray.
Right.
And then the other one is like a Mad Catz.
Maybe that one has the VMU then.
I think the Mad Catz might.
Yeah, but the official first-party one does not, and it
Okay.
is the only first-party fishing rod
That makes sense.
for any console.
And I'm guessing they wouldn't make that for Seaman. Seaman, you're not fishing. You're raising a fish, not killing him through that.
Yeah.
You kill him through neglect.
It's always the best.
Tony, you would like that game.
You think so?
Yeah, actually, that game came with a microphone. Let's talk about microphone controllers, because that was a thing for a while.
Voice control.
Seaman.
Oh, blowing in the Game Boy, right? Wasn't that a thing for a Kirby game?
Blowing a Game Boy?
So for the DS, yeah, like you could blow into the mic port.
Yeah, to blow up balloons and
Yeah,
stuff.
blow up
Oh, really?
balloons, talk to
Yeah.
your dogs on Nintendogs, all that
True.
kind of stuff. And they had
Hello.
the chat headset.
Yeah, Seaman had a microphone that came with it because you would actually talk to this fish human that would talk back to you. I think it didn't know English until you like talked to it enough. It was like a parrot almost. So eventually it would communicate with you as long as you kept it living, and it would spawn new seamen, which was sort of weird.
Interesting.
But Hello Pikachu was also a game.
That's also a verbal command.
There was one for GameCube as well.
You could play
It's a weird-
Odama.
Odama.
It was pinball. It was feudal pinball. Japanese feudal pinball
with a microphone.
with a microphone.
That's so weird.
It was
I
weird.
need that
Also,
game.
Mario Party 7. I remember playing that. Has mini games.
I remember having to turn that option off
I hate
because I
that,
didn't
yeah.
have the microphone.
Yep. Yeah, but a couple of games like that have microphone capabilities.
And one of the most original ones that enabled a microphone was for the Nintendo. I'm not sure the name of it. You might have it written down, Kelly. But it was like
yes.
this headset that you would put over your head. It had like a little eye scope goggle, and you'd play shooting games with it, and you go fire.
You are talking about the Konami laser scope.
Yeah.
Voice activated.
So you
gun.
Yeah. So you actually didn't have to say fire. They just recommended saying fire, but you could like just breathe in it. You could go. Probably sounds awful to everyone's ears.
ASMR podcast now.
Yeah. Very loud ASMR. But yeah, you could just make a loud noise and look at whatever thing that you're looking at.
Yeah. It had a little crosshair that came over your eye. It was real weird looking.
I doubt that it was accurate.
No, yeah, I believe the reason why it didn't do so well is because the voice activated command wasn't really receptive to the voice activating.
Yeah. I remember the Angry Video Game Nerd doing like a special on that and him being like, fire, fire, fire. He's like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting piece, but
yeah.
Not a microphone, but kind of music based. Samba de Amigo for Dreamcast. Little maracas.
Was that Dreamcast?
Yep, and then they had the
I
Wii
need
port
that.
in 2008.
Okay.
So it came out in 2000 on the Dreamcast. They had the little maracas. There's a little foot mat, and it was like.
What was the foot mat for then?
So you stood there and you would shake the maracas, obviously to the rhythm that came up or whatever, and then occasionally you had to strike a pose.
Wow.
And then the crowd would respond.
That's super Spanish.
Yeah, but so yeah, they had the Dreamcast and the one that was also for the Wii that came out, and I don't think that one had a foot pad because of the motion control. It was just maracas at that point.
Balance board it.
Balance board it.
That sounds cool, actually.
I've never played it. I'd love to give it a shot, but I think the original Dreamcast one probably goes for a good bit now.
Probably. So, I mean, talking about musical instruments, one that we both have that we haven't opened yet that we've talked on previous podcasts about.
Taiko Drum Master.
Yeah. A small little drummer boy drum with 2 drumsticks that the actual drum head is a controller and how you hit it or where you hit it.
Where you hit it, if you hit the rim.
Yeah. Is like the A button and the inside's the B button or something like that.
I mean, we could talk all day long about all the different Rock Band instruments that came out.
Absolutely.
And I love a good Guitar Hero Rock Band session. But
while still on weird instrumental controllers, DK Jungle Beat.
The bongos.
The bongos. And the bongos was just like a left and right bongo.
Yes.
Right?
And then you had a microphone in the middle because
I didn't realize that.
There was, I think it was either you had to like clap or something for some of it, and it would catch that.
I don't.
You played
Yeah,
Sony?
that's right. Yeah, I've played that
All right.
many times.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good game.
Tell us about it.
I don't know. I was young whenever it came out.
I have them, and I never
just
played
beat on
them.
the drums and
you just
clap.
I've heard people like I don't know if this is real or not.
beat
but like,
Dark Souls on them.
No, yeah,
Yes.
like something like that, or like Mario 64 on them, or something, or like Super Mario Sunshine, like something weird.
Yeah, somebody just beat what's that new game? Seiko. What was that new game?
God, we should know this.
Tyler.
Sorry. Is this like ninja game?
Yeah, it's the really hard ninja game. Somebody beat that on DK Bongos like recently.
Sakura.
No, that's
Sakara.
a flower. No, Sekiro or
Locust.
something. It's something like that.
Sekiro Die Twice.
That's what it was.
Sekiro.
Something like that.
Sekiro. That's it.
Okay, but somebody beat that on the Donkey Kong Bongos.
That's insane.
So
Good for you, man.
yeah.
Whoever you
Shout
are.
out to that guy for
What are
try
you
harding.
doing? Yeah, what are you doing with your life?
Just try hard.
Just go.
Let us have some. Let
Go
us have
play
some fun
something.
here. But Yeah, I mean, that was, pretty much most of the musical instrument ones that I
Yeah.
had. I don't think there's any other ones that I could. Oh, well, I guess we could like DDR pads.
Yeah, I played a bunch of DDR. Actually,
I'm
got my
terrible at
mom
it.
into DDR for a while. She was
Terrible.
borrowing my pads for a long time, and actually, she just borrowed them for a long time because she never knew how to turn the system on and hook it up to her TV. Like, I hooked it up, but she didn't know how to like get it on the TV.
Yeah.
So eventually, she gave them back to me. I would love to like bust those out and play them again.
I'm terrible at it. But do you know that they have little hand pads?
No.
So I think it's Japan only had them. But it was for the PlayStation 2. They had like a little, it almost looks like a DualShock, but imagine the controller has no buttons and no joysticks, but just two like squares
That's
of
cute.
DDR pads. So I guess you could technically do like two
Wow.
person on it or like whatever. I don't know how DDR works because I don't play it because I'm
It's
terrible.
like 9 squares.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was
Yeah.
then. You could up your squares because it is just a little pad, but it's on like a controller grip and it's wired.
That's cool.
So that's interesting, I thought. But the other one, musical instrument, Miracle Piano.
Yeah, for the original Nintendo.
Also, it came on Super Nintendo, Genesis, PC, Mac, and Amiga, I think.
You saw one of those, Tony, at Too Many Games.
Yeah.
It's literally a life-size keyboard piano.
Yeah, it's
with
just like a
every
Casio keyboard looking.
key that you can learn how to play through a Nintendo.
And they had like some mini games for it in there. So like if you played certain things correctly, you could like control the little character.
That's cool.
They like get through a level of something. It was trying to make learning the piano fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
I would have
Sure.
bought it back in the day.
yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's cool that they had like the MIDI technology back then to like put it into there. Like the sound wasn't coming from the piano itself; it was being pushed into the
Yeah.
the
So
console
it's
and
like
the TV.
8-bit sound.
Yeah, which was I thought that
Different.
was pretty nifty.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
What else you got?
oh, so many things. I'll go back to our PlayStation list here. Mortal Kombat had a control pad with a K. It was for PS1 and also for Genesis Mega Drive. It was for Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. And it had basically what looks like your regular controller buttons, and it had outside buttons that controlled, I guess, certain move patterns. And then you could take in the back of it, it had like a little cartridge slot, and you could get these different cartridges for the different character you played, and it had the move data saved on it. So if you wanted to play Scorpion, put the Scorpion like cartridge in and switch it out if you wanted to switch to somebody else. Like
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, so I think there was like 6 cartridges, I think, completely for it, and you could switch that out. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I
Like
feel like they almost had that for the Super Nintendo at some point too.
I only saw it I remember on Genesis, and then they had a PlayStation 1 as well.
It might have been Genesis.
It was Genesis Mega Drive and then the PlayStation 1. So that was kind of cool. I'm not really good at Mortal Kombat, so maybe that would help me.
Yeah, it looked like this guy right here. Oh, nope.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Like that.
No.
Sort of.
Kind of. Yeah. I'll have to show you it. It's just like a regular like 3-button Genesis controller, and then it has
No,
like
it's not
4
that.
outside circles.
That's like an all-in-one controller.
Yeah, that's like the
No.
plug and play.
Yeah.
But yeah. Another one. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Another one that they had for PlayStation 2, another one of those weird, probably not functional controllers, was Final Fantasy X-2.
The guns.
Yep, Yuna's tiny bee guns.
Did you see these, Tone? The pistols.
She has her little pistols that she carries, and they have like the buttons on the side and then your joysticks on the back, and you would play like, you were shooting them, I guess. But I don't think it was really like comfortable to play Final Fantasy that
No.
way.
Yeah.
Well, especially because it's like an RPG, like
Yeah.
turn-based RPG. You don't need the guns.
Yeah, it was just like something extra.
There's no shooting.
Yeah, there was just something extra for you to get like what she has. It was just like a
Yeah.
collector
Sort of dumb.
kind of thing, yeah. But again, one of those things that looks better on a shelf than playability.
Yeah. But who has shelf space anymore?
Anyway. Also, do you remember those fleshy freak controllers? They look like little zombies.
Yeah.
Those were weird.
There were like a bunch of unique different ones where like there's like mouths and like eyeballs sticking
Coming out of
Yeah.
random places. And
Was
yeah.
that for PlayStation and Xbox? Or
Yeah, I
just
think so.
PlayStation?
I remember the PlayStation 2
Okay.
ones, but I don't remember all of them. But that was in like 2004 they came out. There was another one that we saw at Too Many Games that was for PlayStation 1. Do you remember that?
No.
The glove.
The glove.
The glove.
For PlayStation 1?
I think you were with me when I saw it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm
Remind
thinking
me.
of somebody else. I don't remember. I did a lot of stuff that weekend.
It's just called
So,
the glove?
It's by Reality Quest, and it's called the glove, and it's basically like a power glove for PlayStation 1.
Interesting.
So you have your hand in it. Almost looks just like a little like grip, like a mitten, and it's got the buttons on the outside.
You know what that
there.
reminds me of? You doing that motion with your hand. I used to have these Mighty Morphin Power Ranger gloves
Oh,
that you could
nice.
squeeze, and they go, oh, 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 oh.
What color Ranger?
Red.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would your wrist movement was like the D-pad, and then it had the buttons
That's
in
cool.
there. But yeah, it was pretty nifty. I remember seeing it there, and somebody had like them new in box and had like 5 of them on their stand, and I was like,
Jeez.
"What is this?" And they were selling them for like $10 or something.
Oh, you
Like,
should've
they
got
obviously didn't do well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's wrap this up soon
yeah.
because we're at hour and a half. Yeah.
All right.
Let's get to the big 3, I guess.
I mean, you could do the Max,
What's the max?
the gun for the SNES.
The Super Scope?
No, the like gun for the army.
Oh, yeah.
I have that. I have power pad.
So that was an assault rifle that looked like an assault rifle. I think was weighted like an assault rifle.
It was basically an assault rifle that had a cord to go to a Super Nintendo, and you could only play the army training game on it. You couldn't play anything else. It was a
Yeah.
light gun, but you had to be like 7 feet away, and you had to play that.
And the
like
scope was like actual functional.
It
and-
was an actual functional scope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool game where, it's not a video game anymore. It's training. It's a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Mine would be, and also one of our writers wrote in, this old fuck of a guy, Gamer Scrooge. He wrote in the Power Glove.
Absolutely.
That would be my weirdest controller.
Absolutely.
Came out for the original Nintendo. You could play a lot of different games on it. Almost every game, I want to say. But none of them really worked that well. The
Yeah.
Power Glove was an epic fail.
You had
That-
glove ball.
It had great advertising
And that was
behind it. The Wizard was all about it. The movie, The Wizard, right?
Yep, the Wizard. California.
Yeah. It was a Nintendo controller as a glove, and you could like move your fingers to do the buttons, or there was an actual like keypad on the wrist area, like and arm area that you could put in the button functions that way too.
Yeah, you could program it to play different games, had different button keypad like codes to get it to sync up to that game.
Yeah.
So, and it was terrible anyway you slice it. As a proud owner of a Power Glove, it is
What do you
awful.
think about the Power Glove?
I don't know much about it.
Sucks. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Get one and we'll see how it
I have
goes.
one.
She has one. I am not spending money on it. They
I
actually
got it for
like,
a good deal.
yeah, they
It
go
came in
for
the
a
box,
decent amount of
too.
money. Like not
Yeah.
worth it in my opinion.
It's just a nice little piece, and then you can take cool pictures with it on your hand of you
Yeah.
doing stupid stuff with a Power Glove on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically the reason I have it. It's the function is not that great, but
Tony, you
It's
got
so
any
cool.
weird ones that we didn't mention?
There's nothing specific. I mean, I remember like the light up controllers and stuff.
Yeah, those third-party controllers that light
Yeah,
up.
Mad Cats, of course.
Yeah.
But there's nothing really super weird that I ever had.
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of different third-party controllers, but I hardly ever use them, you know, because they don't feel like the original. But like my favorite one that isn't necessarily weird, but it's different to Americans would be the Hori mini pad that we've talked about multiple times. Like it's for the N64, but it's what the N64 wasn't when it came to the controller. It didn't have the 3 prongs. It just had 2 prongs. It felt like a regular controller.
No. It was, yeah, that looks much nicer to play on
Yeah,
than any other N64 controller.
absolutely.
It just looks so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
I might have to buy one of those.
Yeah, you should.
Absolutely. But yeah, there's so many that I found that we didn't even touch on.
I mean, we can do
It's
a part 2 on this too.
We can part 2 it up. I'd love to
down.
hear some more of people's ideas about weird stuff they've had. I'm gonna expand it out to like peripherals, memory cards, like
yeah,
any kind of attachment.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing one with like the strangest like Game Boy attachments.
Oh, so many.
You know?
So many.
So many.
You can just build that thing up for days.
So yeah, if you guys know any controllers, look at our last post on Precisely Podcast that we haven't mentioned. Let us know by commenting below or DM us at Precisely Podcast on Instagram. If you like this episode, we do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/precisely. We just have 2 different tiers up there right now, $1 tier and $5 tier, but it gets you a bunch of different perks and stickers and cool stuff. So check that out, patreon.com/precisely. You can follow Kelly at
Highway to Kel.
You can follow Bo at Bo's_game room. And you can follow
Tony at precisely_Tony.
Big Tony.
and follow us at precisely_. Nope. Follow us at Precisely Podcast on Instagram. We love you all. We out.
We out.
We out.